7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, everybody out in Buccaneer land. This is Matt from OKC coming to you live on Bucks Report tonight with the Buc Wild Show. I've been absent for a week or so and had some issues last week, couldn't get on the air. So it's time for the season to start. I'm tired of trying to figure out what to talk about when there's really nothing going on. But it is minicamp week this week. It came in, started. So we got a little bit of action going on. We had a late dropping headline today. I don't know if y'all saw it or not. We'll talk about that popping up from Bruce Arians. And we've got a special return of Miss Teresa Baxter after a long time off. Here she is, folks. She really is alive. Hey, Teresa.
I'm alive.
There she is. Everybody wave.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So we finally got her back. She's in limited action. She's at about 70%, I think. So we're going to let her have the night. She's going to take over the comments. So you guys leave your comments so that she's got something to do because I can't keep up with those things. And she's going to get me back online so we can keep things moving tonight. We also have, by special request, somebody you guys might have known, Mr. Rick Hughes has come back to town. I'm going to bring him in real quick. He wants to stop in and have a few words to say. Let's get him on. Here's Mr. Rick Hughes. How you doing there, Mr. Hughes?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm making it happen. Last week, I tried to get out and do some things in the middle of the afternoon, and I got hit by an alligator tread, if anybody knows what that is. In Florida, when a truck leaves a retread on the side of the highway that gets thrown off the truck, it's called an alligator hide, according to my dad and my grandfather. Well, the guy picked one up off the back of his trailer and threw it at my car and mussed me all up last week. I had to get air conditioning fixed and a bunch of little paint done this week. It was all free by the end of it all, but I'm going to pay for it when I get my new insurance. You know how that works. We love to cover you, but we're going to cost you more.
Exactly.
Makes no sense. So that's what you get in Oklahoma. If you're down in this area, I don't know why the guy went out of his way to go all the way into the off lane and pick up the retread and throw it back at the cars behind it. And he kept going. The rest of us all had to deal with it. It's like NASCAR in Talladega. It's terrible. Anyway, not quite that bad. So that's how my week went. How are you? How'd yours go, Mr. Hughes? You have a good week?
Yeah, my week's been all right. It has been okay. Nothing exciting. Yeah, nothing exciting. Nothing terrible. I mean, lots of, interesting Bucks news from the fact that Keyshawn Vaughn apparently is all of a sudden turning into a much better pass-catching back. I mean, that's kind of exciting news.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah. So, that's what I almost called him Lovie Smith. Todd Bowles was saying. He definitely not Lovie Smith. Thank God. Okay. So can I share the story about what happened with him real quick?
Yep.
With Todd Bowles, I had the opportunity to meet Todd Bowles, which is funny because those who don't know, I live in Charlotte. I work at a furniture store, right? Selling furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just minding my own business, sitting there, waiting for a customer to come in. There were already some customers in, but they were with other salespeople. This lady walks up to me and says, "Excuse me, could you help me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Who greeted you at the door?" She said, "Nobody." I said, "Oh, yeah, sure, I'll help you." And I turned around, and Todd Bowles is standing there with 3 kids. And I'm looking like, at first, I'll be honest with you, I didn't turn around and go, "Oh my gosh, that's Todd Bowles." The first thing, I turned around and looked and thought, wait, that looks familiar. Wait, that looks like Todd Bowles. It can't be Todd Bowles. I'm in Charlotte. That really looks like Todd Bowles. holy crap, that's Todd Bowles, right? This is what was going through my mind, right? So I'm standing there, and I know I had, the RCA dog, the classic thing with the dog. I'm sure that's how I looked. Right, trying to figure out what I'm seeing, and I just said, "You've got to be kidding me." That was literally the words out of my mouth. You've got to be kidding me. And he kind of looked down and laughed, and his wife laughed and said, "What?" They both said, "What?" And I pulled my keys out and just showed him that I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Right.
And I said, and I'm not kind of a fan. I'm a long time fan, right? Since the beginning, and I went, I promise you, I'm not going to fanboy out, but wow, you just know this, you really made my day. And I said to him, when you leave this store, I'm going to have to make like 20 phone calls to people to tell them, and none of them are going to believe me. Can I get my picture taken with you before you leave? He said, yes, sure. And I said, okay, now I'm here to make sure you get good customer service. And I went on to work with him for the next half hour. Wonderful family, wonderful people, very nice people. And I have nothing but good things to say. Apparently he's building a house up here for when he retires, and just seriously wonderful people. And I now I sit there and I say, not only is he supposedly a good coach, but that's a good dude. So yeah, that's
a great story.
Yep.
And for those of you out there who play the odds, you have a higher chance of winning 3 state lotteries in a row than for Todd Bowles to come to his store in his state on his day when he's up to do the rotation.
We have 3 other people, 3 other of our chain's stores in Charlotte, right? Plus an outlet. Okay, so really there's 4 stores. He came to the one I work at. We have 20 salespeople. I ended up with him.
That's just,
I'm the only Bucs fan. It's just insane. The odds are just insane. Yeah, and I could not have been happier. And just to walk away from it feeling like I really like this guy is cool. And nothing but respect for him, for his family. His kids were great kids. The family was a wonderful family. Good for them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you gave him the Rick Hughes gold service, and you got the sale, and you should have kept the contract. And for some reason,
I tried really, really hard to just be the good salesperson and do my job and give him good customer service and the whole thing. And at the end, my manager came out and said, he didn't bug you too much because he's a Bucs fan, did he? And they said, no, he was very professional. And the exact words out of my mouth were, good, because that was hard. It was pretty funny.
At least you didn't have to worry about financing when you saw him.
Yeah.
It's always the hang up. He's got the money.
Yeah, well, but look, man, you never know who does and who doesn't. So I and you just treat them. Look, what do you want? I want to get you what you want, and it was a good experience. It was a good dude. It really was. He's a good man, good wife, good family, good everything.
Did you tell him at the end to do the Robert Stack? I picked the wrong week to quit doing my podcast.
No, that is funny. That is funny. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, and it makes me happy to know that that's the kind of guy that we have as our head coach. Makes me happy.
Yeah, he could have been a real jerk.
Yeah,
turned into that would have busted a lot of bubbles.
He could have been Greg Schiano.
Yeah, I bet Greg Schiano to a regular Joe was probably a great man.
Yeah, no, apparently not. Apparently not.
Guys, those of you guys that are USFL fans, Johnny Dean says the Stallions are no longer undefeated.
And I'm going to tell Johnny Dean just because I can. I videotaped this game so I could watch it in full in its entirety after we got done.
You know what?
This.
You know what? There's no way you can do this show. There's no way you can do a show on Bucs Report and not find out what happened during the day.
True.
I mean, that's not Dave Whitescarver. When we were doing our show, Dave had taped the NBA lottery. He's a huge Orlando Magic fan.
Right.
He taped the NBA lottery, and everybody in the chat's going, "Hey, the Magic won the lottery."
I remember that night.
Yeah. It just happens. That's how it goes. Guys, have you all noticed? I don't know if it's just me, if it's happened to you guys, but I hear so many fans like, "Oh, the Rams have $9 million in cap space. How can that be?" Or the Saints have signed this guy and that guy. How can that be? And everybody's worrying so much about the Rams and the Saints, and they're all like upset that these other teams are going to be good. Okay, like as if we're supposed to have already won the NFC, and there are going to be other good teams. And this, I promise you, we're not just going to run away with the NFC like it's no problem. Okay, I promise you. We actually have to play the games. That's why we watch. That's why we're football fans. There are going to be other good teams. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. And I don't get the thinking of, wow, like, how dare the Rams be good? What are they doing that we're not doing?
The NFC West is going to be where we're going to get our competition from.
Well, I mean,
that's the hot division. We're not the hot stove anymore. We're the best thing on the really bad.
but we don't know yet, and that's the beautiful part of football season right now. If you're sitting, in I don't care where you're sitting in Philadelphia, you're hoping it's going to be your team. You're sitting in Dallas, you're hoping it's going to be your team. You're sitting in Minnesota, maybe this year. Everywhere, you're hoping it, and that's the beautiful part of this part of the year. We're all 0-0. I mean, let's be honest, the Falcons have the same record as the Bucs right now. So if you're a Falcons fan, be happy, man. Now's the time. I mean, seriously, this is the good part as a Bucs fan. We're favored to win the NFC. Yeah, there are going to be other good teams. Suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, let's enjoy it. The competition is why we watch.
Yeah.
If there was no competition, it would be kind of boring, wouldn't it?
Well, and let's face it, we do have a much harder schedule this year than we've had the past two.
Yeah.
We got to really work for it this year.
Yes. Yeah, and that's isn't that kind of how it
really
happens?
want it.
But the good thing is that we're still on paper more qualified than anybody else in our division.
Tell Johnny, love you too, brother.
And
be back on for a little bit.
He said you're a better guy than him. He's been standing there like a nerd asking the head cheerleader to the prom. Hardy said he's a Falcons fan and he's never happy.
I'm sorry.
Well,
sorry, Anthony.
Listen, Anthony, I'm trying to give you some sort of reason, even though y'all suck. At least right now you have the same record we do, even though y'all suck. And
everybody starts undefeated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Johnny said the Bucs are still facing one hell of a schedule for this year.
Yeah.
Fire, yeah.
That's right.
And Anthony said he won't be happy until the Birds win Lombardi.
Oh, dude.
I don't know how old you are, Anthony, but you got a long time to wait.
How old are you, buddy? Oh, man. How old
almost had one. You were close.
Yes.
Wasn't Glanville the closest?
And Anthony, no. No, they just did it when they had the 28-3 lead in the fourth quarter.
28-3
Oh,
lead.
that's right.
And who was the quarterback that took them down? Oh, yeah, Tom Brady. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, all I can say is, Anthony, props to you for being a fan of a team that bad. We've all been a fan of a team that's really bad, even though we've won a couple Lombardis. Two of them.
Two.
Yeah, but it was far between.
Well, yeah, not as, but they've never done it. So props to you for hanging in there, even though your team sucks.
Anthony did say the Bucks are still going to kick a bunch of tails this season, hands down.
Yes, absolutely. And Anthony, I'm just ragging on you because that's what we do. That's what we do. And props to you as I believe the saying that I heard. There's a guy, if y'all know Mark Goodman, love the fan, hate the team. And so, Anthony, you are welcome here. Glad to have you here. I hate your team. So.
Hey, but when the tailgate comes around at the end of December, you're more than welcome to come in. Anthony says he's 52 and don't think my coworkers don't come by my desk every now and then at 3:28 in the afternoon.
Oh man!
Oh, that was pretty good.
That's
I just
cruel.
get celebrated every March.
Hey, Anthony,
guess what time it is?
That's funny.
You need to get better friends, okay?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man, that's the beauty right now.
You tell us the Bucks report pretty regular.
Yeah, Anthony, I lived in Atlanta for 20-something years. Teresa lives in the Atlanta area. Now I live in Charlotte, so I'm doing the NFC South apparently. And I'll tell you right now, it is a lot of fun to be in Charlotte and be a Bucks fan. Because nobody's saying a word.
Do they have sports radio up there?
I don't know. I don't listen to the radio here. I have iHeartRadio. I listen to Tampa Sports. So
well, yeah.
Does anybody know? By the way, somebody post in the chat what if there's a score in the second period of the Lightning game because I turned it off.
Yeah, I do not. I don't have the Lightning game up either.
Yeah, so somebody posted.
Johnny Dean says, Anthony, you guys have been building right now, and without Maddie now, I think you guys may need to find someone a bit better than Mariana. Oh, yeah. Then the Birds will be really scary. And Anthony said he's Savannah born and raised.
Where's the old crew screaming for Josh Rosen?
Hey, living in OKC there.
There you go. Living in OKC.
What, huh?
Anthony Handy lives. He's a Falcons fan at OKC.
Oh, well, hey.
You're both in OKC.
Born and bred living in OKC. I'm in McLeod, Mr. Handy. Just in case you know where that is. Not a lot of people know where it is. But you have to live here to know about this town. I was trying to find your Lightning score. I'm sorry, I was sidetracked.
Oh, no. It's all good. It's all good. Somebody will post it.
Okay, well, I was right there, just about. Well, no, it's not as easy as it looks.
Nah, don't worry.
I don't know how Dave Whitescarver keeps up with stuff like that. When I go looking for stats and scores and junk, I always get the wrong links.
Dave has like four monitors in front of him because of the job he does. So when he's sitting there looking at the screen, he's got screens everywhere with all the information.
Oh, see, that's cheating because he can get them all wrong and still hit one right. I'm flipping between things and turning people off.
He's got that stuff all over the place in front of him. Yeah.
Those dadgum financial guys, they're always like that.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that was into gaming really, really hard, and he had a 32-inch monitor side by side.
Yeah.
Just so he could play Battlefield.
Nice.
And he had surround sound stereos hooked up to that thing, and you could sit in the middle of his living room, and it was like being on a battlefield. You hear the guy walking up behind you, and he'd turn around, and hear things crackling in all directions.
I had
investment though. God, what
you know what I did? You want to know what's funny? I sat there and said, all right, I need to get focused more on work and then, some other areas of my life. So I'm not going to watch TV as much. And when Bucks season comes along, I'll go to a sports bar. Now that I'm not doing the show anymore, I'll be able to get out. I'll be able to do all this. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell my TV. I had this beautiful 86-inch TV, right? So I decided I'm going to sell my TV. I sold my TV. And now I come home and I'm like, what the heck did I do? What did I do? What is wrong with me?
See, I don't watch TV in the true sense. I don't watch the networks necessarily. but I've always got something on the monitor.
No,
because
that's
I got the Apple box, and I got all of that crap that I can watch. And then I got YouTube on there, and YouTube now has become this thing it's like listening to the radio. You can just put it on, and it figures out by algorithms what you think you like.
Yeah.
And it'll just cascade these things until you turn it off. That's how I ended up on this deal I was watching tonight about the Bucs on the first year of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And it's getting to where it knows me pretty well. I think we're friends. I think he's going to start bringing beer. That's what I think. YouTube. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Johnny, nice 3 comments.
Yeah. 3 times. He did 3 Josh Rosens.
Yeah.
That means Brady's going to get his ankle cracked in the first game, and we're going to have to go to Gabriel.
Stop that. Okay. One thing I've found out after living in Oklahoma. One thing I found out after living in Oklahoma for a while is that I'd rather have the Georgia humidity than Oklahoma dry heat. But other than that, what was David, what's his name, going crazy on during the tornado season? Oklahoma ain't bad at all. What? No, that was Matt.
That was Matt.
During Oklahoma's, during
I was the one.
No, David's a weather guy.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Well, I was the one who was on the air with this same Rick Hughes the night that Chicago died. We're sitting here talking 15 minutes into the show, and the siren that's across the street goes off. And things blew up all over the place. It was a terrible night. And then the following week, I ended up having to go with my kids to do some tornado recovery work we did for the church that he's with. So it turned into it was fun, and nobody really got hurt. But, man, did it tear up the place. My goodness.
Did nobody post the score?
Rosen is.
Nobody. He's nobody. Josh Rosen is nobody. Just know this, Anthony. Josh Rosen is nobody. And for some reason, some people got it in their minds when Josh Rosen was the 4th string quarterback for the Buccaneers.
We had him here.
The 4th string quarterback. Everybody's like, oh, my God, he's the future.
Well, he was the future for a week on the practice squad.
The future of what?
Practice squad. He was going to run the practice squad. He was the guy. He was the guy.
This is what cracks me up. This is what cracks me up, though. Josh Rosen he's fantastic. He was a 10th overall pick. In the meantime, our backup quarterback, Blaine Gabbert, was a 10th overall pick, but that's irrelevant. It was just people are stupid when it comes to this stuff. I mean, it's like now it's Kyle Trask is the future of everything.
Josh Rosen was the first pick for the Cardinals, not the Niners.
There are people who right now want Kyle Trask to start instead of Tom Brady.
There are people who watched a release yesterday of a pass in a practice 7-on-7 where Trask threw the ball into the corner over 3 defensive people.
Practice?
It was
We're
practice.
talking about practice?
We're talking about practice. They published it like he won the Super Bowl, like it was the Immaculate Reception. And I was like, he didn't throw the ball in the right place. It bounced off the hands of the receiver, and the receiver did all the work. So why are we so proud of Trask? But on the other side of the coin, I'm so sick of Brady news. I'd rather have Trask just to see him develop and turn into something rather than listen to all this crap.
Let him develop and turn into something. He's not something. Right now, we have something.
Right.
You know what? You realize, think about this. We spent how much time with quarterbacks no one would talk about, and we all complained because our quarterbacks sucked. And now you're complaining that they're talking too much about our quarterback who's won more Super Bowls than anybody. Oh, boo freaking who.
We're talking tonight. I don't know if you saw this or not, Rick, but Bruce Arians is going to be all over the news tomorrow morning because he said that he would still be coaching had Tom Brady stayed retired because the second half of that. Because he wouldn't have left the team for Todd Bowles.
Yeah, he said that. He said that at the time.
Well, he said it today.
Yeah, no, he said
it in such a way that people have taken that headline and spun it into Tom Brady ran him out.
Oh Lord! People are getting whatever.
Anthony was thinking about Josh Freeman, not.
And by the way, if you want to know what it's like, ask Anthony whether he would suffer through all that Tom Brady talk. Go ahead, ask him, Matt.
You don't understand. I can't convey to you why I feel this way. It just doesn't register with you. You can't see my side of it. This is why I can't stay married, because I can't get people to understand how I feel. And it hurts.
I understand how you feel. You feel like Kyle Trask should start over Tom Brady. Why? I don't know about why
I'm
you
not saying he should start over Tom Brady. I was prepared, and I think you were too, that Brady was gone.
And I
had taught myself to say, that was fun. See you later. Always love you. Hope your life goes good.
Yeah.
Just don't come back. And then he came back.
I didn't
screwed it all up.
I didn't say that.
I would have been happy
to say
too far. We got a Super Bowl. We had almost another run at the Super Bowl. 2 years in a row, we were great. Now we've got the nucleus of a team. If our quarterback can mold to this great team that's around him, he's got the opportunity of a lifetime that people just don't get when you're the number one pick.
Hold on a second.
You don't get the opportunity to have people around you when you're the guy like the one they picked up and took to the Jaguars.
Did they make a lot of meth?
Hold on a second. When they were signing all these people back, they were signing them all for 3 years. No, they signed them all for 3 years.
Thank you.
After Brady came back.
So we've got 2 years. If Brady decides this is the done deal, this is last year.
I don't think it is.
Whoever's quarterback still has 2 years of Goodwin and Fournette and all these people.
I understand that. And all of those guys got hooked into it when Brady came back. None of them were doing it when Brady was gone. Fournette was in New England. Remember?
I can't even believe this is a discussion.
It's a discussion because the people that had come back and signed 3 years deals, Leonard Fournette already said he wasn't coming back. He was off looking around for another place to work until Brady came back. And then he signed a 3-year contract, I think. Mm-hmm. And then the other guys that came in, they all signed 3-year contracts the week after Brady came back.
And
the week before Brady coming back.
And you're complaining.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm simply saying that he had a team, Trask did, to come to that a normal first-round high draft pick doesn't have the opportunity to work with. It doesn't happen anymore. Roger Staubach doesn't retire and Danny White get to come in and have Tony Dorsett behind him and all of the guys that are around him. It doesn't happen that way anymore. The way it happens now is you draft a number one quarterback with no offensive line. You got some bum knee guy as a wide receiver and a running back that has not
It's not
played
always
for 5 years.
true. It's not always true. Look at San Diego not San Diego. Look at the LA Chargers. Okay, it's not.
They've sold out their life though. They're on borrowed time. You and I've talked about this.
The Chargers?
No, not the Chargers. The Rams.
No, I'm saying the Chargers drafted a quarterback, and look at him. Okay, he didn't come in and suck, and it wasn't all. It wasn't. No, he came to do.
He had that one wide receiver, Kellen. What's his name? He's got a wide receiver out there. It's really.
I hear you, but my point. The point is. Yeah, look, if you get drafted early in the draft, you're going to be on a sucky team. That's not new, okay? That's not the way it is now. Sucky teams draft first. That's the way it's always been, okay? Now, you take somebody, good quarterbacks get drafted by teams later, and they have a better run at it. Look, Trask, even if let me ask you this. Pretend for a moment Brady only plays one more year. By the way, I think he's playing more than that. But pretend Brady only plays one more year. All right? Then he goes off and rides off into the sunset. Why would you then immediately say, put Trask in and see what the kid can do? Why wouldn't you say, hey, let's put Gabbert in and see what he can do? Why wouldn't you?
I'm not saying they won't. I don't want them to, though.
Why?
I think Gabbert wasn't coming back if Brady hadn't come back. We talked about that.
Yes, he was.
I don't think he was signed until after Brady came back. Was he?
I don't know when he was signed, but of course he was coming back.
No, I don't know. It's a Brady effect. You talk about it all the time. I'm not sure he would have come back.
Of course he would have come back because he probably would have been the starter.
Maybe. We were still talking to perhaps Deshaun Watson. We're still talking to Teddy Bridgewater. Perhaps
They never talked to Houston about Deshaun Watson. They
okay.
said,
Well, I'm just saying there were guys out there. There were names out there that
they were going to look
already
at
starters.
But I think Arians would have wanted to run with Gabbert. I think he's always kind of wanted to run with Gabbert.
Okay. We'll never know, but okay.
I mean, he knows the offense. He's been in the offense for 6 years. Or you can bring in Trask, who didn't even practice last year, didn't get on-field work last year. All right. Or you can go with him and just pray to God. Hopefully he's good. Or you let Gabbert start and let Trask then start getting the backup work.
Hey, guys, let me get some of these comments in. Like I said, Anthony said he was thinking about Josh Freeman, not Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
And then he faded away faster than the housekeeper from the first episode of Golden Girls. Johnny Dean said Kyle Trask is going to be the best quarterback the Buccaneers ever drafted. And he said key word is drafted.
Didn't they draft Steve Young?
Didn't they draft Doug Williams? Didn't we get drafted? We drafted Doug Williams out of Grambling.
Yeah.
Doug Williams, but yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, Anthony, in answer to your question of who would take Tom Brady, no doubt I would throw away all my Tom Brady as a turd gear.
Exactly. Exactly, Anthony. Exactly.
And Johnny reports that the Lightning are now up 1-0.
Woo!
Yay. Yay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to get some of these out of the way. And Rick, Johnny's saying you're from Missouri.
What?
What's that got to do with it?
What is he talking about? From
State.
Missouri?
And Anthony says there's still the San Diego Chargers. LA cares as much for the Chargers as Indiana Jones did with snakes.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, and I will continue for the next several years to call them San Diego Chargers and Oakland Raiders.
Trusting
Vegas thing to work.
Trusting Gabbert with your offense is like hoping your 78 Chevy Vega makes a 6-mile ride home at 8 gas.
That's classic.
That's awesome.
We need to make that.
Right.
That's funny. That's funny.
Well, I'm hearing the doorbell. A ding ding. We've got a friend.
You have a guest? Well, you have a guest. Oh, go ahead.
Worcestershire.
Okay, well, you do that, and I'm out of here. So you guys have a wonderful night.
Thanks.
Good to see you guys. Great to stop by again and see everybody. Hello, everybody. Goodbye again, everybody. And you guys are all awesome.
Feel free to drop by anytime.
You got it. Thank you,
coming in, Rick.
You got it. Thank you, Matt.
You always got an open seat anytime you want it.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Carolina, Mr. Todd Bowles' personal furniture assistant, Mr. Rick Hughes. Everybody say good night. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, there he is.
Well,
live from Worcestershire, England.
Oh,
fresh
yeah.
after the Queen's
I apologize. I a lot's been going on.
Yeah, you've been acting like a rugby guy or something.
No. Well, like my wife and I have never really spent a day apart from each other from the moment we got married. We had kids and we just hadn't a chance. So she turned to me and said, "Look, I want to do this thing and hang out with my friend." My wife, she's not a very social person, and I was like, "Go do it. Go and have some fun." Because you don't have fun. All you do is stew in my house. So go and have some fun. So I took it on myself to go and like meet all my friends. I was like, well, I ain't seen them in a while, so we'll have that. And we had a bit of a house party. It's not like house party, like it's not raving or anything. Like I've got kids. My kids are still here, so we just sat and chat, drank a bit of rum, chatted. I had my friend talk about how much he hates American football because it's not like soccer. I turned around to him and said he's a moron. This conversation went there like all it is, and then one of my friends stayed over a little bit longer, and we just you know when you just have a really good night with your friends and you don't want it to end.
I understand.
Yeah, you don't want it to end.
Well, but if you're going to be a regular on here, you need to get this shit out of your system before regular season starts. Once the regular game starts, we're on a clock.
This is like the first time I've seen these guys legit in like a while. I ain't seen Nick or John in like a good 6 months.
Well, that's cool. You're not like on a contract or anything, so we appreciate you showing up when you do come.
That's why I showed up. I was like, I gotta show up. I tell them about it, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," because one of them's a Bucs fan, the other one hates American football with a passion.
Well, then we'll excuse him.
But he's a Man United fan, so he's going to. But food was off the chain. I cooked out good. I cooked out American style. I did barbecue beans.
All right, that is American.
Barbecue pulled pork. I did cornbread.
Oh yeah.
I did what was it? Mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's America.
So we had a good time. We drank a bit of rum and just had a good time. You know,
I can't see rum with mac and cheese. I just don't see that happening.
Oh,
but,
beer was first. Beer was first. Beer was first, but the rum was flowing.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. That's the thing.
But
My kids are learning how to shoot a 22 this weekend at their church, which is a whole other can of beans. Ha! That's I took them off today. They had a special deal. They're going to Bible camp next week. So for 10 days, I don't have to worry about them a bit. All I got to do is walk their dog, which is perfect. I don't have to do anything. And there's no dad, help me do this. Dad, come do that. They're gone.
So why does Rick always run away when I come on? Does he not like me? I'm kidding.
These things don't work. I'll answer the question. These things don't work when you get a whole bunch of people talking.
No,
it's hard to do. And Rick doesn't.
I'm just playing.
He doesn't want to do this as a full-time gig anymore. He just came on to talk a little bit and to give me a hard time and to tell his story. Did you hear a story about Todd Bowles walking into his furniture store?
I heard your backhanded compliment / insult at the end, but no, I didn't hear the story.
Well, he told the story he wouldn't let me tell. Because he told me about it. I was one of the 20 people he called. And this happened a while ago. So, yeah, he told a story tonight, which was cool. That's still – it tops anything I've got to do with Buccaneer football. The only story I have with Buccaneer –
Isn't he like a
Buccaneers was somebody coming to my school.
Well, he was a photographer. Right now he's working for a furniture store called Rooms to Go.
That's quite a job change.
North Carolina.
And I make cake for a living.
I'm sorry.
He works in a place that is known, that region of the country is where you get furniture.
Okay.
In the Carolina and Virginia area.
Okay.
And he lives in a city that's big enough to have four or five of those stores in it. And the odds of Todd Bowles coming to Carolina and picking his store out of the four.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And the fact that he was the person up and available to talk to him at the time that he came in the door. It just, the whole thing just blows my mind that it could ever happen. It's astronomically not possible. But yet it happened. And I'm happy for him. I mean, I would have been Johnny's like.
That's a guy I'd love to pick the brains of. That's a guy I'd love to pick the brains of. From a defensive coordinator to defensive coordinator, I'd love to just understand how he runs his defense.
Oh, you mean Todd Bowles?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to, I know it always feels like the Buccaneers, from a defensive point of view, have like a secret sauce. They blitz a lot.
Remember, their best years was Tony Dungy, and Tony Dungy was with the he was defensive player.
So good, they named it. They named it.
Do what?
The Tampa 2.
Yeah, that was Tony Dungy was the head coach, but Tampa 2 came from
Monty Kiffin.
Pittsburgh.
Monty Kiffin. That's his brainstorm, and all that.
I think it came, originally, it's like a built-on version of what Chuck Noll did in Pittsburgh,
and that's because of Tony Dungy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
They got together and they figured that out, and they put it in there. And Monty Kiffin was the guy who honed it to a skill. But Tony Dungy was the one who, along with
the right personnel,
given him, put the rest of the pieces together. So they had the right personnel for the right scheme, and all worked together so perfectly that it could never be duplicated anywhere else.
We found the puzzle pieces because Tampa 2 is very
It's personal dependent.
You need to have a great middle linebacker. Middle linebacker.
And that's why they could never duplicate it in any other city. Every team in the NFL's got a Tampa 2 package.
Yeah.
But not every team
in the
NFL
Tampa 2. You can't live in Tampa.
No. But we did. We did until they figured out how to beat it.
Because you can see the disciples of Coach with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh run a bit. Yeah, Lovie Smith too. They're a big Tampa 2 thing. Coach Nickerson, he's now become a coach himself, and he runs a Tampa 2. Right,
and he was the beginning of
it originally. Like, he was the man. The thing I remember, I did a thing with him, and he told me, what was it? Oh, for me, it's quite fun. He's like, the middle linebacker's drop on Tampa 2 is Buzz Lightyear. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he went, to infinity and beyond.
Okay, guys, I got some comments. Let me get through these real quick.
Okay.
Anthony was asking Johnny, you think so he wasn't impressed with Trask when he was at University of Florida? Then, too, some national championship team from Athens was very busy embarrassing him every season. Dogs. And
well, I will say this to Anthony. The truth is University of Florida can't produce an NFL quarterback, but I digress. Everyone they ever put in the NFL sucked.
Yeah, Johnny said he was impressed with Trask. In the game versus Bama, he showed up, although it was a loss at the end of it. It was in no way on Trask. He kept them in that game.
You got to take college out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then Anthony says barbecue beans and beers, helping keep America warm at night.
And Worcester, baby, and Worcester. But I got no beer now. It's cider.
Oh. Cider, okay.
Cider. Alcoholic cider. We don't do that.
But you teach defensive football across the pond.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's our American football disciple. Let's see. And then Johnny Dean,
I don't know what this is.
That's what hospitality's for.
Andre says
we straight have a good time.
With what? I doubt it, Anthony. Trask has always sat behind somebody before getting a start.
That's true. That's true. He's always been behind somebody and then has had his opportunity.
Right.
But in mid-season, it's not been like he's been started from day one. He's always been like, thrust into limelight and dealt with it. That's been his deal.
And then suddenly there was a Baker Mayfield who did the same thing.
Yeah.
He ran away from Mansfield or Manziel.
Right, he's the guy in your city, right?
Huh?
Oklahoma.
He's in Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's what
he started in Texas and he was behind Manziel and he said, "No, I'm not doing that." So he walked on to Oklahoma and he beat out the guy and he took over the position here. And then when he got drafted by Cleveland, he did the same thing. He came in and just smoked everything. And now he got up to head starter and he can't win nothing.
College is just one of those. I just don't think you can take too much out of it because if you want to be that kind of person who takes college too seriously about like how good someone's going to be, I'll put a little nugget here for you. Who was the Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew beat out Patrick Mahomes for a job.
Gardner Minshew did?
Gardner Minshew took the Texas Tech job from Patrick Mahomes. From Patty Mahomes.
And Patty Mahomes was overlooked by 10 teams before he got drafted.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. You can't take it. Look, if I'm and I don't know everything, so I'm not going to make out like I know the things about it. My one thing I've learned from just watching drafts, watching football in general, I'm going quarterback. Give me a quarterback that's done more with less. You give me a quarterback who's got bad attitude, attitude, and they're not on the greatest team, but they're still having success. That's my quarterback. You give me an Alabama quarterback that's going to kick everyone, who's kicked everyone's ass because he's got the best tight end, best running back, best O-line, best defense, who's going to get him the ball back. Yeah, it's not going to go. It's not going to work. They talk mad about Tua.
Winston, Jameis Winston kind of scenario there, where all his faults are covered by all the greatness of the rest of the team.
But his faults were always there, though. Like if you look at his stats in high school, he had, I think, 9 interceptions and 19 touchdowns in high school.
It was his eyes. It's always been his eyes. He can't see.
Yeah.
And if you won't wear glasses and you're costing yourself, in his case, $32 million, then your priorities are wrong.
Give me them EDs. Give me them Eric Dickersons. I'm wearing them.
Yep. I stick the damn things on.
Okay, Johnny Dean says that Tampa 2 can only be ran with the right personnel.
That's what I said. It was
run a zone defense. You have to go with the mixture of zone formations.
I said it was very much personnel dependent. That's why nobody else can duplicate it, Mr. Dean. And
Anthony said he feels bad for Baker. Kid got the short end of the stick in Cleveland with the entire mess that's going on right now.
Yeah, but he's going to have the last laugh. He'll have the last laugh. They'll be begging him to play by season start. Begging him.
The rumor is right now, over the last 2 days, under the river here, is talking about the NFL is going to suspend Deshaun Watson for the year because new stuff's come up.
That's why they only paid him $1 million this year.
Everything is guaranteed. The Texans have been implicated in a lot of the storyline that has to do with Deshaun Watson too, which means they're going to get penalized for some. And Baker Mayfield is probably going to be their default quarterback, whether they like it or not up there, because they won't be able to use the one they're paying.
Well, it's going to be Baker's going to be the quarterback whether he likes it or not.
That's true too. I wouldn't want to be the guy in Baker Mayfield's situation because they don't want him. He doesn't like them, and they gave away his receivers, so he's going to have nobody to throw to. And he just come off of two bad shoulders in 1 year where he sold out his whole life to try to prove to the team he wanted to be there, and they took a shit on him. So I don't know. That's a mess up there. That's a mess. But then somebody named Brady might retire after this season, and there might be a vacancy somewhere south of Georgia where some kid from Ohio might want to come and get a suntan, maybe. Who knows? Perhaps. I doubt it. Probably won't happen. Maybe.
Anthony says Jalen Hurts has been the best QB to come out of Bama in the last 15 years or so. Anybody remember A.J. McCarron? Yeah, me either.
I remember it.
I remember how much we talk about him on Saturdays. They don't talk about him on Sundays.
Yeah, Johnny said, I think the title's going to have to go to Mac Jones.
Guys, I'm going to have to leave a second because my son is crying, so I do apologize.
Okay.
We'll just hide him for a minute. He wants to. He's got half his head cut off, got half his beans showing up down here, and half the top of his head cut off. And his kid's crying. And he's got a can of beer. He wants to show everybody, and he doesn't put it in front of the camera. My man's failing his sobriety test tonight.
Mac Jones is lucky he went where he did.
Isn't he the guy in New England?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good opportunity there because they develop the quarterbacks. Brady's a case of that.
Oh, yeah.
But they also give up on people real quick. So you never know.
Andre says Trask 100%.
Well, we might get him. You know what's scary? The telltale story is going to be if Brady gets injured at all this year, and I hope it doesn't happen. No. But if he does, then who they replace him with will put the end of that mystery. Here is Steve's back.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
Oh, look at that. What's up with this guy?
He's a bit tired.
Oh, you need to go lay down and sleep, man. What's up?
He a grunt right now.
He's grumpy.
I said to him, what do you want to do? And he went, he just pointed downstairs like, all right, you're coming with me.
All right, then.
He likes Bucks football, though.
Welcome to the show, honey. You're on TV.
He's only 3.
I've had that same situation with my kid when he just wasn't that he didn't want to go to sleep. He didn't want to sleep where he was.
This one straight up doesn't like sleeping. Me and him were glued together for a good year, like sleeping on sofas, just to give my wife a minute.
Yeah.
Well, that works.
I
It
will.
is not late where Slick is, Johnny. It's early. It's almost sunrise, isn't it? It's closer to sunrise than it is midnight.
It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
that's early.
Oh yeah. A little bit of water, and then I got a bit of practice. Got to take my daughter to ballet, and then off to practice. We got to get you know, I talked to you guys about we had a big rivalry game. Didn't go our way. Did not go our way.
Oh no! Well, then you got to make everybody run. Run to the puke.
Tomorrow's, well, I say tomorrow, it's today technically, but today's session, it's gonna be 3 hours of pure tackling and block shedding because we couldn't tackle to save our lives. We made up for it by not shedding the block. You know where I'm going with that. Okay, I like McKay style.
You got one half the team that won't get in somebody's way, and you got the other half that won't get out of the way.
Well, I've always said I can't be a coach because if the wide receivers aren't catching the ball, I want to throw bricks at them until they do. And then if they can't do whatever they're supposed to do, they can run 5 miles on the beach dragging cinder blocks behind them.
Yeah, it doesn't work in the real world though, because like the guys I coach, they pay to play.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to get a black eye if I did that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'd probably have no beef.
That's a hard way to be a coach because you can't motivate somebody who's.
Well, I want to go. I'm so desperate to coach kids. I just think there's so. What's up? You hit your eye. All right, good night. Bless him.
Well,
my kid share.
I'll tell you what, man. We can cut this off. We've been at it almost an hour, and it's kind of this is a slow week. According to Tom Brady, officially, the mandatory mini camp starts on what, the 28th, is it, or the
23rd of August or 23rd of July,
which was not supposed to be announced, but he told everybody anyway. So that's what happens when you're the big man on campus with your own logo, because he had his logo hat on at the same time. He had Bucks across his chest and TB12 on his hat. And then he says, our regular mandatory camp starts on the 28th, 23rd, whatever. Teresa told me he wasn't supposed to say that. So he did. So that means
now we know
approximately 14 days of this no news crap going on, and then we're going to start seeing things happen.
Yeah.
So everybody's getting well at the right time, all three of us.
I like that. How are you, Teresa? How's everything?
Everything's better.
You shook it off?
No, not completely, but I've shaken it off.
You look good. You look real good.
Thanks.
And it's good to hear you sound good though. You sent me a message. I thought you were dying while you're talking to me.
Yeah, she had a rough voice there.
That's right. I was right in the middle of it, and that was rough.
Everybody that I've talked to that had COVID.
Yeah, I had COVID. Everybody.
They say the hardest part is to get the fatigue and the breathing back. I've
still got the fatigue going. Like I said, I took a 3-hour nap for the show tonight.
Oh, that sounds lovely, though. For a nap.
And the coughing, just if it would go away, I'd be a lot better.
Everybody in the house would be happy. The dog will quit chewing on that duck too. He'd probably be like,
no, that's her duck. I mean, she chews that and gets there's a squeaker inside and gets that going. So that's fun at 2.
Yeah. My cat has gotten a little ball, a bell off of one of his mouse toys, stuck inside my quilt. There was a little hole or something, and it just by dumb luck got underneath the top, and it's in there now. And I can't get it out. And the cat knows exactly where it is. So at 2:00 in the morning, he jumps right on that space. Bang! He starts beating that damn bell around and kicking the hell out of me all night. And
we don't have any pets yet.
Wow.
Huh? We don't have any pets yet.
Good. Keep it that way, man.
I intend to, because I know I'm going to be the one that walks it. Because it's going to be.
Well, he's gonna. Your son will have to have a dog at some point, but you don't have to give it a German Shepherd or get a little dog. They make littler messes.
Yeah, we're considering. We've been considering. What dog do you want?
Well, I'm going to call it a night. So,
I think, let's go through these last two. What do we got here? It says,
Johnny said he makes them hit the steps, everybody. And
yep.
Anthony said, ouch, not the steps. Flashbacks.
Bleacher laps.
He said, Stevie, sounds like your team needs Denzel Washington to come through, Coach Boone style. Will you ever quit? Remember that?
You don't know the half of it. It's frustrating. I can honestly rock up to practice and I could have on defense, and I'm being straight with you, less than 11 guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't coach. Realistically, you can't coach. And then when you lose a game and you're like, well, I'll be real with you now. We're on a 15-game losing streak.
Ooh.
Oh.
We drew one, but we lose a lot, and it's hard. I even got defensive coordinator stripped off me because the head coach felt that I wasn't good enough. It took the team to turn around and went, no, you can't. You don't know us like he knows us. We want Slick. We want Coach Slick. Give us Coach Slick because he's our guy.
Well, no offense, but if you can't discipline the team for not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're too good to be coached, then that's not. I think
it's more the case of it's just no one wants to put the work in.
Yeah.
Well, then they got exactly
they want that picture of them wearing that helmet, kissing their girlfriend or whatever. They want that. That's it. Profile pictures.
That's why Magic Johnson gave up coaching NBA. Magic Johnson couldn't handle the new kids because they didn't have the kind of mindset that it requires to win a championship. He just could not find it with anybody, and that's why he gave that up. So there's something about the old way. The old way is kind of, it's barbaric in a lot of ways. But Bear Bryant made a career out of making people play tackle football in sand spurs. The little burrs in the field that you get in your jeans and tear up your socks. They practicing that stuff in Texas at 105 degrees in the middle of the summer to get them ready to play football in Alabama. And they put in the blood and the guts, and they won championships. When you start putting in the union and they soften everything and they take away this and they take away that, then you get guys that are like they are today in the NFL, where they're more worried about their brand than they are the team, and they'll move on to the next team at the end of their 4-year contract and whatever.
I don't have too much against that because I think you've got to think of life after football. But I get where you're coming from, though, because like the whole like TikTok and like some of them doing that stuff like mid-game and so I think it was jujitsu.
Oh, the biggest example I can come up with is the guys that are in the USFL are washed out from the NFL. That's why they're there. And then they get in the game and they're on a team that's got 1 win and 7, and then they get one quarterback sack in a game that they're losing 23-6. And they go running straight at the damn camera in the end zone, making a big deal like they're the next Mean Gene.
That, but you got to remember that's the attitude. And attitude catches fire.
It's not an attitude.
I got told the other day, someone turned around to me and went, "You have so much energy." I was like, "Yeah, because I'm a former player, and I am shouting, I'm screaming, I'm like every time they do anything right, I'm like on it, I'm like screaming, I'm shouting, I'm jumping. Like I may as well be playing the game myself. It's just who I am as a person, and because I want to ignite something." And
that's different, though. You're doing that from a coach to a player.
True, but think about that. I always say to my guys, you need to a better turn of phrase. You need to get your thing out and swing it. Just swing.
Get your thing out. That's funny.
I'm trying not to say words. So
I understand exactly what you said.
But you can have that swagger, and I think sometimes, as much as from the viewer, you're like, well, you're playing USFL, but if that ignites the team and it helps you win, they're
1-8. They still lost that game, and the only thing you did good in the game was one quarterback sack. It doesn't matter.
It's a fun game. Let's have fun.
No, fun is not what it is. Winning is what it is. Fun is for after we win.
Let's have fun. Let's have fun.
We have fun. We have fun on the riverboat when we have the Lombardi to throw around drunk.
True. I'm down that, but I think my wife's got a great video of. I think it was during one of our playoff games. We got an interception, and I got so used to what the defense does. I dived on in front of the TV doing the boat. And she burst out laughing. There's a video of it somewhere.
That's funny.
I was like, oh, because you want. I think that kind of like swag. We do a 2 clap and a Ric Flair. So if you get an interception, you come off. We go, woo! Always a 2 clap and a Ric Flair every time. That's our little thing.
Just a different. It's a different way of thinking, I think, and that's because I'm 57 and you're 30 something.
For sure. Whatever works. I'm not against the old way. The old method for sure worked because it puts that discipline in that's not there. So I respect that, but I think let them have fun too. That's
you let them have fun after they hate you. That's the trick.
True. But
you give them.
They get after it.
You coach them up first, and then you hug them later, or something like. What is that, Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce. Coach them hard, hug them later. I think that's a Bruce / And
if you think Bruce Arians would turn around and say, Bruce Arians would be the first person to jerk somebody off the field and say, "Don't go looking at the damn camera. You haven't done shit all day." You know.
But you remember the old days when they used to? I think it was the year before, and you had like the likes of Gerald McCoy. They're like dancing and stuff. And
that crap is what I say. Gerald McCoy can go somewhere else, and people say, "Well, we need to get him back. He could be a good reserve." No, he's a cancer because he doesn't respect the game. You're not going to dance on the sideline when you're down 21 points, nothing left in the game, and you haven't done a diddly shit about it. And that's
who's your college team?
I don't follow college anymore.
You don't follow college? I was just thinking because of Oklahoma. I'm like, you do realize he's like Oklahoma royalty.
Oklahoma's not SEC. I grew up in the SEC.
Okay.
And in the SEC, you had, in my day, you had Bear Bryant and you had Fran Kersey, who was at the University of Kentucky. Kentucky is a basketball school, and Fran Kersey made it a football school for a while. And then when he retired, you didn't have anything going on for football until now. And you know why they got it now? Because one of the Oklahoma boys is up there. Stoops is running University of Kentucky again, and they're starting to get good because of the way that they coach. But the Southeastern Conference, before this merger where there's like 55 teams in it now, before that, the Midwestern teams had a different style of football because anytime Oklahoma would run the tables here, which they did often, and they'd get in the national championship game and they'd play an SEC team like Florida, they'd get their asses handed to them. It's like they didn't even know how to play football because the dynamics are different and the methods that they use are different. And Oklahoma could never win against an SEC school. Now they're in the SEC. They've changed their way of doing things a little bit, and they're more conducive to that.
Next year? Is it next year or is it this year? When do they join the SEC? Is it this year or next year?
I thought it was last year, but
no, they won the SEC last year for sure.
It's coming. If it hadn't happened, it's coming. And
no, it's 100. I'm not sure if it's this year or next year. It's coming though for sure. Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
One of the guys I coach is a huge Oklahoma fan. I keep trying to tell him, like, you know, the best player that ever played for Oklahoma. He's like, who? And I'm like, Leroy Salmon. He's like, nah. And I'm like, don't even start. You ask any brothers.
Leroy, Dewey, and Lucius.
Yeah,
Lucius was the best, and he never played it down in the NFL. And he was the one everybody thought was going to be the Hall of Famer for sure because he was bigger, better, and faster. But he never played it down in the NFL. He was a coach his whole career. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Teresa's already bailing out. She just checked out because she started to leave earlier. And we got to talking. And
I didn't check out.
Well, I can understand. We don't have a whole much more to talk about Bucs-wise, but I do want to say one thing for tonight. I see some new names in the chat, and I appreciate it. If you guys would make sure to share the program on your Facebook and your YouTube feeds and help us grow, it would really be appreciated.
We appreciate it, for sure.
Absolutely.
Give us likes because that helps us too get up the ladder a little bit. Yeah. And bring 2 friends that like Buccaneer football, and you guys get in the chat. Once we get the chat room going, when the season starts and we are talking about games and things like that, this is a whole lot more dynamic, and we got a lot more going on usually.
A lot more
part is we've just about got through it.
Yeah.
And off-season football period is just terrible.
We
It
probably
makes me
won't
have to
have-
talk. And y'all
We
don't want to
probably
pay.
won't have anything until Grant decides whether he's coming back or not.
Yeah, and
Don't
he's not,
wind up Matt. Teresa, don't wind up Matt because he's going to go nuts. He's going to go nuts again.
Okay.
well, if Grant comes back, great, but we need to act like he's not and just work with what we have and take advantage of what we have. And I think we're going to do just fine without him. Personally, I don't think we need Gronk at all. But
I
it's a nice addition. It's like somebody gave you a brand new car, and you had the old '72 Stingray out there that's still a beautiful machine, but it just doesn't run as quite as well.
Yeah.
It's out in the driveway. You want to have it every once in a while, but not every.
I don't think Gronk. I don't think Gronk's. You don't leave that out there. You ride that thing. You ride it all day because Gronk is just a dude. Like straight
Until
away.
you blow the motor. You remember last 2 seasons he was with in New England. He had armor on his elbow, on his shoulder, on all the
That
time.
guy's fight though. He's a fighter.
Well,
That's
no,
why he's
Belichick
taking
wouldn't let him
time.
sit out. That really is what happened, and that's why he got beat up so bad, and that's why he retired, because they weren't giving him any veterans breaks. But on that note, this veteran's going to close it for the night. I'll let you get your kid fell asleep. You're going to have to go lay him down.
He's gone. Like he's out.
All right. So until next week, we'll be back next Saturday night at 9 o'clock Eastern for you guys.
Well, I'm
here.
back to normal next week, so I'm back to normal. So that's all cool.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, then. You guys have a good night. Until then, go Bucks. Go Bucks.
Go
Go
Bucs.
Bucks.